This is Black Boy Family.
Baby's crazy at times. She that's easy sometimes. But she told me I gave her my life. And I promised that she'd be my wife. I'm gonna get to classes. She's a radio fanatic. Yeah. And you could tweet her on my Facebook. Lakini yeye usoma books. Hapendi tukidamwagilia. Anapenda tukiweka tuki. Mapenzi yetu si familia. Hatuchezi low kissy. Cause she brings to life all my fantasies. Never seen a love so real. Kwake yeye aimido wake king. Now I know nimepata queen to life all my fantasies. Never seen a love so real. Kwake yeye aimido wake king. Now I know nimepata queen. She's a box of chocolates, yeah. She's the daughter of a Wonder Woman, yeah. Amejitambua juu ya ni superwoman. Ananisumbua cause she's the one. I'm gonna get to classes. She's a radio fanatic, yeah. And you could tweet her on my Facebook. Lakini yeye usoma books, yeah. Hapendi tukidamwagilia. Anapenda tukiweka kiti. Mapenzi yetu si familia. Hatuchezi low kissy. Cause she brings to life all my fantasies. Never seen a love so real. Kwake yeye aimido wake king. Now I know nimepata queen to life all my fantasies. Never seen a love so real. Kwake yeye aimido wake king. Now I know nimepata queen. Rangi halisi amefanya mafisi machizi porini na ni muoriji tano zake mina like moto na nywele kiki smile na kapatina tea body city.
This is Black Boy Family.
If you fall in love like I do, pasinipende mama. If you want designer, buy for you. Junakupenda sana, kwetu ni getu, hakuna gado. All I can offer, baby, she got love, yeah. Pasinipende, usiniache niende, yeah. I see you play a guitar for you. Sing a little song as you dance to the tune. Yeah, da-di-da-di-da for you. Da-di-da-di-da for you. Oh baby, play a guitar for you. Sing a little song as you dance to the tune. Yeah, da-di-da-di-da-da-da. Da-di-da-di-da-da-da. Usinipende, usiniache niende. Usinipende, usiniache niende. Losing my chance for you. Kill a boy and I die for you. And we stand like a pyramid. Front line in a battlefield. Yeah, hallelujah, yeah. I will die for you, yeah. Hallelujah, yeah. I will die for you. kwetu ni getu, hakuna gado. All I can offer, baby, she got love, yeah. Usinipende, usiniachinyende, yeah. Basi, plenty to get up for you. Sing a little song as we dance to the tune, yeah. Daddy-da-dee-da for you, daddy-da-dee-da for you. Oh baby, plenty to get up for you. Sing a little song as we dance to the tune, yeah. Daddy-da-dee-da, da-da, daddy-da-dee-da, da-da. Hustle on my side, in treats. Imagine I need so in a month for bricks. Could this shit could glad it in vain? I feel the pain one walking in rain. Do ya come at me? Cause you got the yummy in me. The reason to love you indeed. The reason to put you mercy for your family. Na 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 na, yeah. Asinipende. Na 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 na, yeah. Baby nipende, kwetu ni getu, hakuna gado. All I can offer, baby shika love, yeah. Usinipende, usiniachinyende, yeah. Basi, play a guitar for you. Sing a little song as we dance to the tune, yeah. Da-dee-da-dee-da for you, da-dee-da-dee-da for you.
This is Black Otta Radio, media for 21st century.
Yes, hi. Good morning, family. Hope you are doing great this wonderful morning. Karibuni sana to the Black Hot Fire family, media for the 21st century. And this is the Pan African Bliss Show. My name is Joby, and I do hope that you can hear me loud and clear. I do believe that my voice is getting better. Karibuni sana, and I hope you are doing great this wonderful Thursday. Even on a Thursday, I do to get to understand that most of us, or rather most of our people, are throwing it back, trying to remember some of the things that they get to, do maybe in your childhood, or other, some albums that you might be checking on, or maybe some music that you might be remembering on. Karibuni sana. And of course, remember we are live and interactive on our social media handles, that is on Facebook at the Black Fire Network radio station, on Twitter at the Black Fire Network, using the hashtag Pan African Bliss with Joby and hashtag Black Fire Network. And you can also get to interact with us. That is through our Instagram page. Just slide in the DM at the Black Fire Network. And as you tell us where you're tuning in from, how is your week, or rather, how has your week been? It's been the second week of August, the 12th of August today. And I do hope that you are manifesting, rather making some affirmations that you have set for yourself this month in general. You can also call us in, SMS us, or tap us at the +254 754 402 730 as you interact with us and as you get to engage on the conversation of today, because I have an amazing show lined up for you. And you can also catch us on our website. That is that if you are joining us for the first time, we have a website at the www.blackoutfirenetwork.com. And once you log onto the website, you can be able to create your own profile and join the Blackout Fire family. And also you can check the content that is there, because here we get to discuss matters concerning the African people, that is the African brothers and sisters who are in the diaspora, who are in the New York City, Florida, wherever you are, New Jersey, anywhere in Ghana, Nigeria, Tanzania, Uganda, here in the 254. We're all about bringing the African people together, and of course checking the matters that are affecting different people from different parts of Africa, and at the end of the day bringing a solution and coming up with a solution. Nonetheless, you can also download the app on the Google Play Store and get to enjoy these amazing vibes. They get to play Unipende by the one and only Kappa Dre, and that is an amazing job. That one of our favorites here on the Blackout Fire Network radio station. And I think also get to play African Girl by the one and only Fiti. It sounds more of like a Nigerian vibe, but also it's a Swahili song that you can vibe onto. Karibuni sana. This is the Pan African Bliss Show. Once again, my name is Joby, and of course, you know how we start our day. In case you are new here, I do keep on saying that you should start your day with some positive vibes, because I personally hate negativities. And right now, someone was just trying to bring a negative energy onto me. But I want to change my mentality and, of course, the perspective that I have for here today, and change my energy, because I don't want and I don't like anyone trying to drown my energy. So the quote of today is, because as I keep on saying, try to be happy despite the challenges that you are facing. Ensure that despite the challenges, ensure that 100, like 70 or rather 90% of your life is full of happiness. Neglect the negativities and just focus on your happiness, because you matter. You matter, and you are unique, you are blessed, and you are loved at the end of the day. So the quote of today goes by, be happy with what you have, be excited about what you want. Because some of us do not really appreciate what we really have. We focus on so much what we really do, what we really want, and forget to appreciate, or rather, be appreciative, and also being happy about what we really, really have, and also for us to be excited, rather, as much as we focus on what we really want, you need to be excited about it. But just put your mind in a mental way, in a positive way, your mentality in a positive way, that as much as this is what I want, I'm excited about it, and I'm sure that I'm going to get it. So be happy with what you have currently, appreciate what you have, and be excited about what is about to come, and that is the quote that I had for you today. Karibuni sana once again to the Pan African Bliss Show. Please do remember to interact with us. As I said, we are live and interactive on our social media handles as we get to engage on different matters today. We know that Zambia, they are running, there are elections today, and so many people, they get to wake up. I don't know how early Zambians do get to rise up. Is it like the 254 here in Kenya, whereby you find that people waking up at 3 a.m. and they're already at the polls trying to vote? And you'll find that even at that 3 a.m., you find like even 100 people on the poll already, because they're trying to, hoping for a better change, hoping for a better president, or even for a better nation. But we keep on asking ourselves, as much as we're saying that we want a better nation and a better life, who is going to make that change? Are these Africans, or are the leaders, the African leaders that we are depending on, are they really ready to make a change? Or is it the same old situation? Because I also did remember Spikes talking about the issue of how so many African leaders, there is no any young presidents. They're all aged presidents. And that is why I think somehow, for me, my own opinion, I think that is why these presidents, or the leaders that we have, or the politicians that we have in the seats, that is why they do not even get to understand the matters of the young youths and the situation and the challenges they are facing. Because you'll find maybe during their time, because I do believe that is in their, if you check like someone like Uhuru right now, who's maybe in his 60s or maybe his 50s, if I'm not wrong, or maybe someone like Raila who's in his 60s or maybe his 50s or 70s, they, during that time, life might have been super easy. It might have been, actually it was easy, because it was more he was running at that time, so life was not that difficult. The financial crisis was not that high, the budgeting was not that high like right now. So that is why you can see the leaders that we have today, despite their age, and not them giving the young youth chances to also, be able to run matters in a political way, or maybe run the nation in different matters. That is why you see that they do not understand the challenges we are facing as young youths, or maybe even teenagers, whatever they are going through. I did get to see yesterday while they were giving the budget of the 254, how the elections are going to be run. And I did get to see that the whole budget of the whole election, it is supposed to be 4.4 billion. I was asking myself, just for elections, 4.4 billion, while we have other people who are striving in hunger out here. We have the schools where we did get to see the matters of who are going to the UK and they're trying to get some funds to better the education of today. But I don't really think that this amount is going to be funded in the school, or rather at the education. All this will go in the political, the political sides, because you see even rallies right now, they have started being conducted from different areas, different counties. And of course, there's some amount of money that needs to be chipped in, because I did get to see, when you see these politicians going around, they're going to target some local areas, where people are struggling so much with life, maybe the middle life, or maybe the ghetto people. Those people are really not financially stable. So they're going to be maybe tipping them $5, $2, and that will be enough for a day to cater for you. And if they come back maybe another day, they still be able to tip you. So I don't think this amount of money, or rather the loans that these nations and our leaders are taking, they're not really helping any of us. It's only for their own benefits. And I'm pretty also sure the amount that Uhuru maybe has been given. It could be maybe 50% or maybe 100%. And all this, as I said, it's all going to be funded in the political industry, because 4.4 billion is quite a big amount. If you get to maybe venture or maybe divide it into different sectors, let's say the education center, we have people who do not have water, clean water running in their areas. That is one of the things that is also affecting us. We've seen also in the matters of sewages affecting the sewer places, rather the areas that have so many big sewers, killing people. And this is why the government is not even being able to conduct, or rather make our areas clean. I did get to see that is last week actually, if I'm not wrong, on Friday. Yeah, on Friday, where I did get to see two men, adult men, where they died because of stepping on a sewer, which was super super deep. And where you step in somewhere and you think that is a stone, kumbe it's unfortunately, it's just a big sewer that really killed a lot of them. And of course, the matters of also uncleanliness, the hygiene here in our nations is also very poor. One of the best countries that we have, one of the countries that I know that is super clean. I don't know if Spikes maybe can be able to tell us that, because he's been in Rwanda. I know, or rather have heard of Rwanda being the best, or rather most, or one of the best countries in Africa, which is full of hygiene and of course very very clean. But in the 254, same matters cannot, we cannot even really compare. We have in the likes of the Dandora, the dumping site, where so many people, young children, or rather young youths. We did also get to see that some time back in Zimbabwe. We did get to see some young kids who are going to the dumping site, trying to collect some plastics and anything that they could find useful to go make, some earning, or rather some money out of it, so that they can find something to eat, or maybe for their families. The same thing is also happening in Kenya. The dumping site that we have here in Nairobi, it's quite big actually, and you find that how they are also, conducting the area, it's not even hygienic, it's also effective to the people who are living around there. So at the end of the day, as much as the Zambians are woken up so early today, trying to go and to vote for the president, who, or rather the next the next person who's trying to sit for the president, as much as we have hoping for the better Africa, or maybe for a better country, I do hope that they get the best, but I wouldn't say much about it. So it's been reported that Zambia President Edgar Lungu has cast his vote in what is a keenly observed election in the Southern African nation. Lungu is seeking re-election, will try to fend off pen, perennial opposition, Challenger 59-year-old Akaindi Chilema. Though in a total 16 candidates are vying for the president. 16 candidates, it's quite a lot. And of course, maybe two of them. I do remember Keith yesterday saying it doesn't matter who votes, it matters who counts the votes. So it's quite clear. I do remember last week I did get to mention whereby the president had already called on the troops, trying to say that they want a peaceful election. But again, all these troops, for me, how I see it, they might be the ones who are trying to cause war unto the nation, and the citizens of that nation end up being blamed. Or you don't want to do this and this, then they end up mixing up the votes and everything. Then it ends up, then Edgar Olunga is still going to win, because we've seen the corruption and everything, how the system is being run here in the African continent. Nonetheless, this is the Pan African Bliss Show. We're gonna take a short musical break. Then when we come back, we're gonna be discussing the matter of how so many Africans are running away from Africa, actually because of the government that we have here today. I did get to bump into some posts yesterday on the social media. One of the influencers we have in the 254, she goes by the name Huda, and she was just like going by the she was just saying that the reason why, actually she lives in Dubai right now, and she was just saying that the reason why I invested in another country and not Africa, it's actually because of the corruption that is going on in Africa, the leaders that we have, and the government. And she went ahead and said she hates the government of Kenya, especially. She hates the government of Kenya because there's so much corruption. Even when you're trying to invest in terms of business, or rather you're trying to conduct, rather just trying to build a nation in a different way, you have to bribe people in different ways. You have to do this and this and this for you to be able to fit in a situation. Nothing you will not be allowed, or rather you'll not be able to conduct a issue, rather try to invest somewhere, and no one is going to come at you. You have to bribe people. There's the city council, there's the government itself, where you must pass on, or this is our land, or maybe this is some, or maybe you invest in a business, let's say for like a year, then afterwards they're still gonna come back. You've already invested so much there, the business is gone, then the government comes back, this is our land and we have to tear down all these shops and stuff. So those are some of the disadvantages that we have, and of course we're gonna be discussing deeper on that as we get to see what is really happening in different parts of the country, and why Africans are running away from Africa and going to invest in the outside countries. Is it truly because of our government, or is it because they are trying to live their lifestyle? But according to Huda, I totally agree with her. It might be because of the government and the system, how it's really being run, and the corruption and everything. We have the cartels themselves who are really trying to take away everything. This is Bad by the One and Josephine. Keep it the Black of Fire.
Josephine. Money more class, money more standard, money more advanced, money more class. I want money more rise, I want money more shabby, I want money more tatty. See, they never know me, why so full of jealousy? Oh, I never know, say I am the sweetest thing in the world. They never know, say I am the sweetest thing in the world. No, just be like a pressure. Let me give you pressure. You will have to love me. You will love me. Do me like the winner. Rock me like the winner. You will love me. You will love me. Na 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 na. Na na na. I'm a lucky girl, I'm the champion. What did that be for? Get out, I'm a lucky girl, I'm the champion. What did that be for? Get out, what did that be for? 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 Treat me like pressure. Let me give you pressure. You will love me. You will love me. Do me like you wanna. Rock me like you wanna. You will love me. You will love me. I'm a lucky girl. I'm a champion. What did that be for? Get out, I'm a lucky girl. I'm a champion. What did that be for? Get out.
Yes, and that was Josephine Bad by the one and only Josephine, all the way from Nigeria. And of course, she's doing the most. You can get to check our music on YouTube as you get to support talent and nature in talent. Because I keep on saying we should support our own. We should support our own, because we've seen so many African artists who are trying to, how do I say, they are influenced by the white people. Let me, in the likes of Nicki Minaj, as much as she's black, we have in the likes of Cardi B, we have in the likes of so many people, so many artists from the US. That is what they are trying to live, the lifestyle of them. But at the end of the day, we need to support our own talent and nature in our own talent. Karibuni sana once again. This is the Pan African Bliss Show with me, Joby, and of course, you're listening to the Black Out Fire Network Media for the 21st century. Do remember we are live and interactive on our social media handles. That is on Facebook at the Black Out Fire Network radio station, on Twitter at the Black Out Fire Network, as you use the hashtag Pan African Bliss with Joby and hashtag Black Out Fire Network. You can also find us on Instagram as you slide in the DM and tell us ways to interacting with us at the Black Out Fire Network. And you can also call us in, SMS us or tap us at the +254 754 402 730. It's a wonderful morning today, and here in Nairobi, the weather is quite cold. It's super super cold, and I do believe that is one of the things that really affected me. But I'll be okay. 25 minutes past 12 here in Nairobi. And I do hope that you are enjoying the show so far. So we want to talk about the matters of, how Africans are running away from Africa. Is it because of the government, or is it because they're trying, or that they are influenced by the lifestyle that is really over there? But for me, I think I'll generally support because I did get to mention in the likes of, we have a socialite, or rather an influencer in the 254 should go by the name Huda. And she did go ahead and say that, Africa is so beautiful. We don't really appreciate what we have. That is so true. Africa is super beautiful, but you find so many Africans don't appreciate what we really have in the likes of nature. When you look at nature, the nature that we have, because I did also bump into something whereby this chick was saying that things like health, knowledge, habitat, food, they used to be free, basic human needs, and there was more than enough constant supply of this from nature. Nobody was required to pay to exist. Some of the African communities still live like this in free lands passed through by the ancestors, or maybe by the grandparents, and so on and so on. And like today, most of the people are born just to pay bills, and that is, which means we are still under slavery, because we have seen how the government, of course, as much as the government is still run by these colonizers, they are, we are still, our kids and us, we have been born to still pay debts that we really don't know about. The Europeans did take away our resources. They have tampered with our natural resources, of course, and which you find that even right now, farmers, even them themselves, they do not even know the value of farming, because where you have to farm, which I do believe way back, or rather if you go into the rural areas right now, if you have a farm where you have maize, beans, coffee, tea, and so on, you don't have to, sell it to anyone, because this is your own. This is something that is your own. You won't have to buy anything from anyone. You have all the resources, you have all the foods and everything. But right now, things are quite different. Things are quite difficult from even from the rural areas. You find that even someone who has a big large farm, after even investing in this farm and so on, they're still going to sell this maize, because there's someone who's trying to tamper with your mind. Give me money, I'll give you money, you have to give me whatever you've really worked so hard for. But I was trying to relate, because I remember personally me growing up, and where I grew up from, because I did get to live maybe 2 years of my life in the rural areas. And I do remember when my uncle was doing his farming, everything was super easy. No one, we never saw anyone coming, trying to take anything away from us. We could go to the shamba, to the farm, and get to harvest the maize, harvest the beans, which was super healthy. Unlike today, or rather the generation of today, where we have to live on, or rather look up onto so many spicy food, because this is what the Europeans have really brought us. We're gonna take away this from you, then we're gonna change it. We're gonna, ferment it, rather take it to the factories, and we're gonna bring you this. And that is what is really happening right now in the age of today. And also relating, just asking, why is it that Africans, most of them are investing in the outside countries, that is in the US, you find in Dubai, or maybe in other countries in general, in the outside countries in general. Personally, I'll start with the government, as Huda said, because the government that we have today is full of corruption. If we talk in the likes of business, I'm gonna speak of what I've really seen in my own point of view. In terms of business, if you have invested, in a business for like more than 2 years or 3 years, as I said earlier, you're gonna find maybe that land specifically, maybe the person who told you, or rather the person you are giving money to, yes, after you approaching a business, or maybe someone who owns a land, you're like, I want to invest a business here, so I'm gonna give you this amount of money, then I'm going to buy this land. But you, after being there for 2 years or maybe 5 years, the government again comes back and tries, to tear down the shop, and tells you this is our government and nothing is supposed to be here. So there's so much corruption, and that is why you find that so many young people, or even people who already made it in life, that is how they say it, they're going to invest in other countries instead of investing in their own country. And this is because of the situation that is really going on from different continents of the world. I don't know if it really happens actually in the 254 only, but I do believe also in other countries. We've seen in the likes of whom do I say? Let me say in the likes of Diamond right now. He is a big superstar, but right now you can see even musically, as much as he has grown musically, he has built some artists in a way, but right now he's trying to cross the border. He's trying to cross the border in all means that he can. Because if you're trying to invest in your country, if we did have in the likes of or rather if we had Magufuli still as the president, because Magufuli was he was a president who was even supporting his own artists. Actually, this is something that was foreseen. He did support young youths in different ways. And like here in Kenya, we have the KFCB, the people who have been put in charge of the KFCB, the entertainment industry. But there is still corrupting, there's still corruption going on. For you to fit in the industry, you have to have connections with the manager, rather the person who is in charge of KFCB, which is super, super bad. Or rather, there's so much that is generally just corruption, the system that is also being run, and the cartels. In general, the cartels, there are so many here in Africa. Another reason I think Africans also are investing in other country, as Uda said, still we are not appreciating what is really our own, and that is so true. You find that despite the resources that we have in the likes of, we did get to speak of agriculture some time back with Spikes and Kate on the Rhythm Scoop show, where we were talking that young youths do not really want to venture into agriculture because so many of them are lazy. So many of them are waiting for the government to turn up onto them, rather to help them, and which will really never happen. You're gonna wait for a longer time for you to be able to be helped, rather to be given an opportunity if you don't have the connections here in Africa, rather here in Kenya in the 254. So in general, for me, I think it's also the matter of laziness, and also not appreciating what we really have, what we have as our own. Because if it's in the matters of agriculture, as I said, and as they get to read the quote of earlier, whereby we did have resources and we didn't have to pay for anything. All these were provided. And of course, if you go to some other countries, let me talk in the likes of Western, the Nyanza sides, some of the people in the villages, or rather in the rural areas, are still living like that, where you don't have to go to anyone's place, or rather in a neighbor's hood, because you have everything in your home. You have enough food, you have enough resources, you have everything. You have water, natural water, actually, even from the rain. I remember way back when I was young, I could see my uncle and my auntie when when the rain was raining, they could put maybe some basins outside, and which was a very good way of harvesting water. Unlike today, if you try, if you're here in Nairobi, or rather if you come in the cities and you're trying to harvest the rainwater, people are gonna be looking at you like, what are you doing? So these are free water running from the sky, but you have to, because you are afraid of the judgment that people are going to give you. You'd rather spend so much money going to buy water which is not even clean and also provided by the government. So there is also a matter of laziness. We're not appreciating what we really have, what nature has really given us, what the creator has provided us. We're trying to run for what the Europeans are creating, which is not even beneficial, and which is not even helping us. Because if we check in the likes of the food and the natural food we have, I have my dad. I'll speak in the likes of my dad. My dad is the age of I think he's in his 40s, if I'm not wrong. If I'm not wrong, I'm sorry not to know about my dad's age, but I think he's in his 40s, if I'm not wrong, approaching his 50s, and he's the kind of person he gonna, as much as he has the list he have, he has a business and everything, but he's still going to be telling you guys, you have to go to the posho mill. You have to push, to ensure that this maize is well done. I won't be taking any ugali, from the shop, from the flour from the shop. You have to give me natural resources. If it's in the matters of breakfast, he'd rather take yams and cassavas and not bread. And I think somehow the natural food that the Africans used to have, or rather that the Africans we have, and of course some of the Africans are still following the culture, but we've seen that 70%, only 30% do not are still following the African culture. But 70% of us, we are lost in the cities. We are lost because most of us, or rather most of them, are trying to live the European way. You know, you want to fit in the lifestyle of the city, which is not even healthy enough. So for me, I think that those are some of the sources. And of course, we're gonna take a short musical break. Then when we come back, we're gonna be discussing more and check why is it that so many African young youths, as we get to see the likes of food. And of course, I'll be sharing some audio because I can't share the video, whereby these are some African facts that we have from certain chick, and we're gonna be hearing more about it. For now, I'm gonna be playing you Black Frost Emotions by the one and only Black Frost. And keep it the Black out Fine Talk.
Always again for the vibe. Now we heading to the top. Drop blood. Hey, hey, hey. Yo. Uh. Let's go. One in the streets, one for the hood. I got emotions. Nigga, you tryna do suicide. You got emotions. My babe so angry at me. She got emotions. Dropping the hundreds for free. We got emotions. One in the streets, one for the hood. I got emotions. Nigga, you tryna do suicide. You got emotions. My babe so angry at me. She got emotions. Dropping the hundreds for free. We got emotions. Sipping or death of emotions. Smoking the cookie like token. Get up for one like cobra. Nigga, you torture. Papa watching with the flash. Super boss another mess. Tryna go finish my task. Tryna forbid on his nest. Getting my money inside. Releasing my checks to cash. Jumping the iceberg. Look at my face and you last. Why you so selfish like that? Looking at me after that. Big Daddy V was so bad. Yes. One in the streets, back with the hood. I got emotions. Nigga, you tryna do suicide. You got emotions. My babe so angry at me. She got emotions. Jumping the hundreds for free. We got emotions. One in the streets, back with the hood. I got emotions. Nigga, you tryna do suicide. You got emotions. My babe so angry at me. She got emotions. Jumping the hundreds for free. We got emotions. Jump at the back. Living the bag up on max. Roaming the colors and sex. The devil chopping cut a last. I speak like he never will catch. I believe I will finish the task. In September, he bigger with test. Send me the work for the blast. Every girl wants to be mad. My dog is taking the man. Your robots to finish the first. Don't look like the space in the jokes. We'll finish the rest the first. Running the business so first. We're gonna take no drugs. Read the Bible more. One in the streets, but for the hood, I got emotions. Nigga, you tryna do suicide. You got emotions. My babe so angry at me. She got emotions. Jumping the hundreds for free. We got emotions. One in the streets, but for the hood, I got emotions. Nigga, you tryna do suicide. You got emotions. My babe so angry at me. She got emotions. Jumping the hundreds for free. We got emotions. Straight from the bottom to the top. Shout out to my nigga Glizzy. F-Dope. Trap for the back. We call me trappers. Yo.
Yes, I. That is Emotions by the one and only Black Frozen. And of course, we did get to host him here some time back on the Express show. So if you did get to miss the interview, you can check it on the www.blackofinetwork.com. That is on our website. And of course, get to enjoy most of his amazing vibes. He's a young artist, upcoming. And as I said, I do believe in nurturing talents. Despite the corruption in the system and the cartels that we have in Africa, still young youths are still pushing themselves because as much as you have a passion, as much as you have something that you really want to push yourself with, it determines also with your hard work. If you keep on depending on the system, or rather the government of today, man, we're gonna wait for quite a longer period of time. Nonetheless, this is the Pan African Bliss Show. My name is Joby, and of course, you're listening to the Black Fine Network Media for the 21st century. And remember to interact with us on our Facebook, on Twitter, and as well on Instagram, on the Black Fine Network radio station on Facebook, the Black Fine Network on Twitter, using the hashtag Pan African Bliss with Joby and hashtag Black Fine Network, and also slide in the DM on Instagram as you interact with us, telling us where you are streaming in from, because I can see one person who's here with us, and I'd love just for you to wave at us as you tell me how you are engaging in the conversation of today that is on yeah, on our broadcast today. You can also call us in, SMS us or WhatsApp us at the +2547544027330. Man, my voice is really cracking me down. But I hope that I'll be okay within some, maybe by next week or maybe during the weekend. I don't want this to continue going on. Nonetheless, we were talking about the matters of our Africans, so many young Africans are running away from the African continent and going to invest in the outside country. One is because of the system that we have, the matters of corruption, of course, and the government itself. Because I did get to see Huda saying that I would never thought of investing outside of the African country. She just hates the government so much, and she'd rather put investments elsewhere, use Africa as a grave. That is quite a strong one. Why you see someone putting so much hatred, into, she doesn't hate Africa itself. She loves Africa, but she hates the government. And I think this is why, somehow, I think this is why you can see it's not like I'm supporting Africans running away from, the country. It's just that the government that we have, the cartels that we have, the system, and how these people are running things is one of the things that really making us disappointed, or rather making some of the people really disappointed. And of course, you can see them are trying to invest elsewhere. Hi, Kate.
Good morning, Joby. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm quite okay. At least I think I'm quite audible today.
Oh yeah, you sound better. You sound
Yeah,
better. You didn't sound that bad yesterday, Joby. Oh, you guys are cold. It's okay. It's,
yeah.
so
In Nairobi, it's super cold. Actually, it's super, super cold.
how you feel? How you
Mm.
feeling?
I'm quite okay. I can't complain. I'm okay. As you said
Okay.
yesterday, I'm a black woman. I have to be strong. I know I have to be strong for this. I have to be strong, man. So I,
So
I was just, yes,
you said you have to be strong.
yes, I have to.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, so I was just talking about the matters of Africans. Why is it that Africans are running away from the African continent and investing in other different countries? So one of the things that I did get to mention is, and I was referring to the likes of one of the influencers we have here in the 254. I don't know if you know Huda. Do you know Huda Monroy?
I do not know.
She's one of the influencers, and she lives in Dubai currently. And she was just saying, I did get to bump into her post. She was saying that she loves Africa, but one of the things that one of the reasons she sees why Africans are running away from Africa and invest in putting businesses in the different countries like Dubai, Qatar, in US, is because of the government we have. The government we have and the system and the cartels is really making so many people hate Africa, because
Yeah,
if you are trying to conduct a business here, you have to chip some amount, you have to have some connections. You will not be able to fit in the system well if you do not have money.
and that's and that. It's not. It's also the tribalism,
Yeah,
Joby.
yeah,
It's the
yeah.
tribal nonsense. It's the I'm not this tribe. I hook this tribe, and that's all through Africa. It's not just Kenya. I want you to understand that this system is all
Mm-hmm.
throughout Africa, and it's pretty
Yeah.
fucked up. Everybody knows it's fucked up. So when people leave, Africa's got all the riches. The system that the European designed, it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to overcome it
Mm-hmm.
in the continent. So people just give up. Say, oh man, it just how do I ever change Africa? Because it's like it's completely destroyed now. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, a lot of people say, "Fuck Africa." I'm going to Europe. I'm going to America. I'm going to Dubai,
Mm-hmm.
um, because the system is so corrupted in Africa, and it's based on all this tribal shit.
Mm-hmm.
And tribal shit it's horrible. That's in
And
every country. I remember. Let me say something. I remember Rumi Zai was talking about Zimbabwe. We had about how bad the tribal shit there is. Mugabe never fixed the tribal shit in Zimbabwe. Where if you're
mm-hmm.
not part of this tribe, you don't get to get a job with this people. You don't get a job with that. And then you got the colorism. If you're not light skinned, you will not
Mm-hmm.
be in this
Yeah,
position. You know,
yeah.
it, it's fucked up. But go ahead, Joe.
Actually, I also think it's also the matter of colorism, because there's a time also, remember in school, in school, if you are light skinned, it's like you are being favored. Also, in the industry we have today, if you're more light skinned, you are favored. Now, also get to mention something. I think also Africans are lazy because we did get to speak in the matters of agriculture some time back in the rhythm scriptures with Spikes and Kate, and we were talking how some African young youths don't really want to invest in their countries because they are lazy. If we look at the matters of farming, we have in the likes of things like health, knowledge, habitat, food usage, and the free basic human needs. And all these things, if you check them out in the way back in the times of our grandparents and our ancestors, none of these things we did have to pay for. But right now, because
Nope.
of the colonization and the system, how things are really being run, you'll have to find that most of us who are being born, we are born to pay debts, and they were still living under slavery.
Yes, you are. Yes, we are.
We're
That's
still
true.
living under slavery, but at the end of the day, it's all, it depends on us, as much as we are running away, because she was saying that we are running away from what is our own. We don't want to appreciate what is our own, and I think that is also one of the most true thing, because Africans do not really appreciate what they really have. If you look at the likes of the people who are living in the village and someone who's living in the city, someone who's in the village is actually super healthy than the person who's living in the
How
city.
about that? How about
Yeah.
that, Joey? How
Mhm.
about that? Go ahead.
Because yeah, because they are eating natural resources, no chemicals, and
Yes.
this, yeah, they're fresh foods. There's no spicy things and stuff. But someone who's living in the city, for you to fit in the city properly, you have to be eating junky food, you have to eat spicy food, you have to be, to live a certain lifestyle, you have to be light skinned in such a way, which is really tampering with our health in a
It's
very,
called
very,
it's called
in a
the
very
European. It's called the European death culture. That's
Mhm.
what it is. Europeans and the European death culture.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Let me explain something. Like you said, see, Joe, but you're too damn smart for your own good, because the people in the villages back before the European came in, when we showed that black lady yesterday,
Mhm.
the Africans didn't have any diseases and all that stuff. That's a fact.
Yeah.
The average age, Joe, in Africa
Mhm.
was 150 years. That was your average age.
Mhm.
Average.
Mhm.
The average age for the European when he came into Africa, you know how old, and these are your gods again, because you don't
Mhm.
know, your God was only living to be 35.
Mhm.
That was the average age of the European before he died. He was 35 years old, Joby. Now that you got in contact and we've been colonized, the average age for the African is like 60, 58 or some shit, whatever, some low, half the age, or not even half the age, because the average age was 150 years. So just like you just had some Kenyan that just died, he was 138 years old. He just died, like
You
what,
know,
a month ago? But that was the average age for Africans, 150 years. That was the average. Not no
no,
more.
most of us, most of us really don't want. As I said, we are not appreciating what we really have. We're trying to copy the Europeans' lifestyle, and that is one of the things that is really facing us. Failing us. This is what they are giving us, and that is what we are taking, because they want us to fall, But most of us do not really want to see this. You find someone who's living in the city, when you go to the village, you seem like a superior person. Even if you've not gone out of the country, or maybe you're not gone to the America, or maybe in Dubai, if you are living in the city, you seem like a superior person if you go to the village, because you have to go with some shopping, and the village people barely see the things that you have in the city, most of them. Let's say in the likes of the spicy food and everything. So even if you take it to some of them, they'll be excited, but they still like, what is this? What is
Yeah.
this? Because they are used to the natural resources, they are used to the natural food in the likes of maize, beans. Because I remember personally growing up, I was just looking the likes of the budget that we have today and the budget
Okay.
we had when I was young. When I was young, I remember I did live like 2 years with in the rural areas, that is in the village, with the uncle of mine, and he had a very
Okay.
big farm. We did have coffee, we had maize, we had beans, all
Awesome.
types of food. We did have oranges, mangoes, strawberries. Actually, I hate strawberries right now because I ate a lot of them. Watermelons, I ate a lot of them, when I was young. And when
Damn. And you hate those, Joby. You know how expensive those things are in America, Joby. You know how people, you know how expensive strawberries, watermelons. And
I consumed.
exactly the things that you don't appreciate. People would go crazy to eat those things, Joey.
I consumed a lot of them that even if I try to take them, they just, try to irritate me because I consumed a lot of them when I was young. But I was just trying to check, in the matters of budgeting, like, the
Very
budget.
lucky.
If you go to the rural area, $5 is quite enough to sustain you for a whole week. One, because you have the yams, you have the cassavas, which you have to consume for breakfast. You have in the likes of vegetables. Maybe you're gonna just maybe cook some ugali, which you're gonna take to the portion meal. And it's only maybe 30 shillings, which is 30 shillings, 30 Kenyan shillings, and that is
Uh-huh.
quite a least. And if it's the matters of supper, you're still gonna repeat the same thing. So $5 is enough for someone who's living in the village. But $5 for someone who's living in the city, you have to use like triple. That is actually like $15. You have to use fifteen
Uh-huh.
dollars in a day. Because if I look in the matters of me growing up, when I came to the city now, when I was staying with my dad, we could use $5 for breakfast, we use $5 for lunch, we use $5 for dinner. So that is quite a lot. And when you check the kind of foods you are eating, they're not healthy. But thanks to my dad, he's the kind of person who has grown in the village. So he wants you to eat healthy as well. Yes, you're gonna be eating this and this, but most of the times you're gonna be eating the healthy food. So in general, I'm
Shout
just
out to your
saying,
father.
yeah, in general, I'm just saying we are not appreciating what we really have.
You
We are
don't.
trying to we are trying to cope.
You have no idea, Joey. Africa has the best food because it doesn't have a bunch of chemicals. That's why they trying to. That's what they bringing it down to Africa now. To these
Mm-hmm. Sorry, come again.
food source, and the Africans must reject this because most of the soil on the planet is destroyed because of the Europeans. Africa is
True.
the last vestige of good soil. And you're right, they don't understand. Africans have been made uneducated with these bad educational systems on purpose. They grown up learning nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Africa has grown up learning lies and nonsense.
It is true.
Your African ancestors were scientists because they didn't have a PhD or whatever the white man calls it. They knew how to cultivate the land. They understood how to make things grow. That's a scientist.
True.
Go ahead, Joey.
True, that is true. But one of the things, as much as one of the things that Mzungu really, Mzungu is quite, let me just say, quite a clever person, and he really messed
Yep.
with our minds. He messed with our minds in a very bad way. So he came to
Yep.
Africa, saw the natural resources we had, and we were planting them in a natural way. We didn't have to use chemicals, to
Nope.
to make our plants grow. We were depending on the rain only and the sun. Yeah.
Yep.
To reflect our
Because you know why? Because you know why, Joe? That's from the all. That's from the creator. And the creator damn sure ain't no white man. The creator is a black woman. But
Mhm.
let's continue.
but he came and saw all that we had, and he was just like, okay, this is what they are doing, so I'm going to provide some chemicals. So you find right now, even sometimes if you go to some places, rather to some farmers, or some where people are doing farming, they are using chemicals to make the plants grow in a very fast way. They are not
But they've
knowing
been
that
taught, they lost their knowledge, Joe.
Yeah,
That knowledge was lost. So you're gonna stay a generation of the European came in and broke the knowledge of the African. It was like, how can we break these people? How can we steal from them? How can we destroy them so we can rule over them? I understand that. That's when they brought these missionaries. The Africans didn't know it was the missionary. It was the Catholic Church that said we're gonna shrink these. After the African taught them everything, they said what we're gonna do. We're gonna shrink these niggas into slavery. We're gonna enslave these motherfuckers if we can, if possible.
Yeah.
Once we enslave them, can we take over Africa? Can we get all this these I'm gonna be honest what they call it. These niggas are rich. Can we take it? Can we steal and rob from their ass? Like this is the fact. You ain't learned this in history because they ain't taught you none of this. Now in history they taught you lies. They came in and said, how can we steal this shit from these these black people? They got everything, we don't got shit. How can, just like that black lady soldier, that alien lady soldier, everyone said, yeah, they came and stole. So ever since we met you people, all you've done is stole. And oh, go ahead, Joe.
Actually, talking the matters of our history, I remember I did drop geography, and I was just saying, I wished I did geography instead of history because the history we learned is actually full of lies. I remember us being told about the golds and the silvers and the platinums that we had here in Africa. We were only told they were in Africa, but we were never told that Africa is one of the richest continents. We were never told
Not
that this
one of the richest continents. It is the richest continent.
we were never taught that these resources were ever taken away from us by the colon by the col- you know the, by the colonies. We
Yep.
were never taught any of these things. Actually, personally, I'm learning these things right here, or rather, I've learned most of them right here because the education and the system of education, and that is why you can see so many people are running away because it's full of corruption. The education is not even true. People do not know
No.
themselves. They don't know the true culture of their own and their history.
Well, Joby, if I conquered you, why would I teach you? I'm not. Why would I teach you to overthrow me, Joby? I'm not teaching you. All the education systems in Africa are European. I'm not going to teach you your real history, and I damn sure not going to teach you to overthrow me. I'm not going to teach you to overthrow me. I'm going to teach you lies, and then you'll grow up with these lies, and then when you come with the truth, see, lies fracture the mind, Joby. If you can't, when you come against the truth, you either were like you're shut down. Like, no, I mean everything I learned is a lie. Nobody wants to believe they've been living a lie, Joe. It's hard to believe that you've been living a lie. Like I said yesterday, how do you tell someone you've been living a lie your whole life? You've been lying about your ancestors. Ancestors were great people. You told that they were dumb, they were stupid. They're the most brilliant people on the planet. You were told
Mhm.
that you were stupid. You were told
Yeah.
lies, and then you were taught, as a black lady told you, to self-hate yourself. You've been told
Mhm.
that self-hate you.
And
They've been
the
taught that
worst
self-hate you.
the worst
Go ahead,
thing,
Joey.
the worst thing is, despite the system of education, even the teachers who are still employed there, they do not even know the history
They don't
themselves.
know their history,
What
Joey. They
they
grew up in the same system you did. They don't know shit. They can't teach you when they don't know shit.
they don't know, but they still call you stupid. If you fail in class, instead of someone motivating you, they're calling you stupid. That is trying to, you're trying to make someone's mentality. Because if you
Well,
tell
that's
a child,
what kind of church that you're stupid. They're trying to indoctrinate you with the lies they learn. So it becomes intergenerational. If they
mm-hmm,
never learn shit, Joey, how can they teach anything? They can't. They can only teach what they've learned from that system.
mm-hmm,
System was corrupt from its inception. If the Africans got free, Joe, but this was a conversation. Why did you tear down the educational system as soon as you got free? He said, this shit is lies. Why did you tear it down back in 1960? You would have known. You knew they were lies. So I let you know the puppets that they put in there. Said, the Europeans said, you better not take down none of these damn systems. And that's what they said. But the people don't know that. The Europeans said, you bet not take down the educational system that I set up there for your dumb ass. You better keep it. You better put. That's why you got African people running around with these white wigs and shit in Africa. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I know.
Because
You
your
know,
mind, I can look back at Africa and say, oh, I still got their minds. They're still idiots and morons.
mm-hmm. The African mentality, actually, we just need to change the mentality. Because I remember someone said,
Gonna be the youth.
life is not difficult. It's the Europeans and the social media that are making life difficult because we are trying
Yep.
to copy them. We are trying to do everything like them. But actually, if you follow the African culture, we are simple and very blessed and happy people. But
How about that?
we are trying to complicate our lives because we're trying to look up onto these people and live like them. And yet they are the ones who are making us feel depressed. You want to have a Gucci bag, which is maybe $100. You want to have this Chanel. You want to do this for girls. For men, you want to have a light-skinned girl. You want to impress her and do some crazy shit. It is super crazy, actually.
What to
It
have
is,
a light skinned girl.
yeah, it is
and, I,
crazy.
I, and that's all South Africa. Shout out to Ruby's eyes. It's crazy, Keith. It's the light skin shit. I know, Ruby. See, even the leaders that were left in Africa, minds were fucked up. They grew up in the same system, and
Mm-hmm.
they didn't know how to tear it down. Most of them are puppets. But Robert Mugabe and Zimbabwe started out as a puppet, then he changed. He said,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you know what? I'm going to try to get the land back for my people. I'm going to try to do right. But he never torn down the system of enslavement. He didn't tear down the educational system. He didn't tear down the colorism, and he didn't tear down the tribalism. You must tear these things down. You must destroy these things because they destroy your society. That idea that you would believe white is better than you, and genetically, black is better. These are
They don't know that. They don't know
lost
that.
all of them. You don't know that God is black. God is black.
They don't know. They don't know that because I remember personally when I shaved my hair, a lot of people were approaching me. Hey, why have you shaved your hair? Is it that you don't have money? You don't want to wear wigs anymore? You don't want to feel sexy and stuff? I'm like, okay, do I have to look sexy when I'm wearing wigs?
So wear a white man's wig. I'm looking sexy if I wear other people's hair on my head. That's how.
Do I need to have a long hair to look beautiful? Why do I have to have a long hair to look beautiful? And I said I'm not going to give any explanation to anyone. If you think I don't have money, or if you think like I don't have enough money to buy wigs and stuff, I'm not gonna be competing with you. It's your life.
So I need to ask them when Lupita was playing in Black Panther, she had short hair. Was she not beautiful? She's a beautiful woman. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Lupita's very beautiful. So it had to do with her fucking hair. That's your hair. You're ashamed to be African. You're ashamed of your hair. The white man has made you ashamed to be you. That's what you're dealing with. I don't got to deal with your psychosis. You're ashamed to be. What do you mean? You don't want to be sexy anymore. You don't want to have white people's hair that we've been told that is better than ours, and you don't even know that's not hair, stupid. It's fur. Europeans don't have hair, dummy. That's fur. It's animal fur, and that's clinically a fact. That's a scientific fact. So the idea, where do they come from? That's fur on their head, dummy. It's not hair. It's fur. That's why it has lice and bugs in it. You want to pull that up and look at it? They have lice and bugs in their hair. You as an African, you don't have none of that shit. You don't know that, but you don't know that because you were raised or you were taught lies. I didn't learn that. I didn't learn that shit. I was damn near 30. I was like, what? I damn sure didn't learn in no school. Especially growing up in America, everyone gonna teach me in a white man's school. I grew up with lies and lies and lies. Oh, this white man's great. The white man's done everything. The African's fucked up. The African's sorry. The African, you ain't never done shit. The African never read and write. Then when I started learning the truth, it was completely reversed. The African was the one who created the alphabet. African was the one who created language. The African taught every other race on the planet how to read and write. I grew up in a wealth of lies. Lie after lie after lie, because this fake educational system is meant to dominate us as a people, and that's what it's done. And Europeans get mad when you know the truth. Like when we used to have this big out before YouTube started fucking with all the channels, I used to have thousands of fucking people on the channel, and white people, and they get that work for me. I have people from Australia, people from England. We used to have thousands in the chat room. And they get mad because I know real history. You can't tell me nothing about no white people, motherfucker. You motherfuckers were eating rats and dogs and all kind of wicked ass shit. You were filthy, and I'm talking about just 500 years ago. You were filthy, fucked up. It was the African who went to Europe and taught you how to clean your body, taught you how to put on clothes, taught you how to eat. You don't know none of this, do you? Things are this historical facts. And then when you tell them the truth, they get mad and say, so what? You're still black. Motherfucker, I love being black. What is you talking about, stupid? I love my blackness. Are you out your motherfucking mind? See, that shit don't work on me no more because I know who I am. I know what my African ancestors, who they were. So you can't kill me with, oh, you're black. Motherfucker, you white. You're the weakest people on the planet. Your genetics all fucked up because you're white. I know what time it is, stupid. You can't come to me with that white supremacy shit. Don't work on me. Go ahead, Joker.
That is so true. But you just need to change the African mentality. People just need to wake up at the end of the day. Because if you are running away from your culture, you are running away from yourselves. You think you're running away from the
Exactly.
culture, but you're running away from your true self. I
Yep.
was just writing. I was writing the blog as one of the bloggers that you did tell us to write, and I was just relating, with the life we have lived, the lies we've been told, and I was just telling myself, so many of us are running away from from ourselves. We are running away from being honest with ourselves. And that is one of the things that is really failing us as humans and also as Africans. We are
Because of
running away
self
from
hate.
our true
But it's
self.
self hate. You've been told the self hate. You've been getting indoctrinated with so much self hate. We've been indoctrinated. That's globally. We've been indoctrinated with so much self hate. So that's why you've been indoctrinated with so that the Europeans broke our mind. Broke our mind. That's a wicked genius. It's a wicked motherfucker. He came
Mm-hmm.
in. He broke our minds. And
Mm-hmm.
then if I break your mind, the elders never accept that shit, but the youth, if I get the youth, they'll teach their children lies, and their children, and then their children will teach their children lies, and it becomes self-perpetuating.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got the children, they'll teach their children lies. They'll they'll teach their children lies, and then somebody later on, like a Job, will wake up and say, "Hey, mom, these are lies. What are you talking about? I didn't taught you these things. What are you talking about? These are
Yeah.
lies, mom. These are
That
lies,
is
dad. They're lies. What are you
true.
talking? That's what I've always learned. I learned that this. Well, they're lies. It's not my fault, mom and dad. These are lies. These
Mm-hmm.
are lies.
True
We
facts
got.
over there. True facts. True facts.
We.
But we are coming to the end of the show, Keith, and
All right. All right.
I just hope people will really wake up at a very early stage. Actually, I'm really feeling for Kenyans. Yesterday, they get to. Actually, I was very sad, and actually, I've just, how do I say? I've just quarreled with my cousin this morning because I was just asking him. I've already warned you about the job, but he went ahead and took the job. He went ahead and took the job. So I'm just fearing
Wow.
for his life. I'm just fearing for his life. And I'm seeing the rest of the family is also going to check the job. But not my mom, not my dad, not my siblings. But for those who I'm trying to tell the truth, the distance family, they don't want to listen to me. So there's no way I'm going to change someone's mentality. You just need to wake up at the end of the day. But I want
Shout
to
out to you.
appreciate.
Shout out.
Mhm.
Shout out to Mama and Daddy Joby. They know. I'm glad.
Yeah,
Shout out to them in Africa. Shout out to them. Because you
they
need to
do.
start sharing. You need to share some of these videos with them. Let them see for themselves. You know,
Mhm.
let them show your phone where you work at. Show them the app. Show some of these videos that I sent you. Show them some. I'll send you some videos. Share with them so they can see this is
Mhm.
real. And
Yeah.
this is not. So this is real.
Then I want to appreciate you, Kate, for your sentiments and, of course, for joining us today. And thank you for also giving us this platform where we
You
get
up
into.
early, aren't you, Stacy? What's
Yeah,
up,
Stacey.
Stacy? You up
Yes,
early, Stacy?
I can see her. Stacey Thomas, thank you for joining us. Also, thank you for taking the time. And for the rest of the Black Out Five family, because I can see quite a number. And I want to appreciate everyone who's been tuned in today. And I do hope that you have learned something and stop escaping from your own history and stop escaping from your own self, because you are running away from your true self, thinking you are running away from Africa. But that is the total lie. I want to appreciate you. And of course, I'm going to be winding up the program today with one of the songs by the one and only Paul the Rush. This is Big Great. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the evening, of the afternoon. It's 6 minutes, actually 8 minutes past 1 p.m. in Nairobi, and we're about
That's
to have
right,
lunch.
family.
Yeah, and I want to appreciate everyone. This is Big Great by the one and only Paul Raj. Keep it the Black on Fire Network. Kwaheri.
Exclusive with Amplified.com.
Yes, Stacey Thomas, want to say Kwaheri for now. Thank you for joining in, and I hope you do catch us on our next show, that is on the Rhythm Scoop Show. Keep it the Black of Fire Network. For now,